What it is, what it ain't, you guys, and welcome back to my channel. If y'all want to see how I got this natural fall beat, then just keep on watching. Alright, so to start off, I already applied some of that Cetaphil moisturizing lotion all over the face. And now I'm just going to apply some of that Clara's vitamin C and E serum as well. Next, I'm going to be putting on some chapstick and patting in that Benefit Porefessional onto the skin. I like to pat it versus putting it on like you would be putting lotion, because I feel like it fills in my pores way better than if I was to do the other way. Now I'm taking some of that Morphe Saweetie setting spray, and next I'm going to be taking some of that MAC strobe cream and applying that to the back of my hand. And with my Real Techniques dual fiber brush, I will be applying this to the highest points of my face. So I'll be putting it on my cheeks, my forehead, down the bridge of my nose, and also my chin. And whatever is left over, I will just be applying it to the rest of my face. So you guys, muy importante, every tool and every potion that I use to beat this face will be down in the description box down below. Alright, now getting into foundation. Today I'm going to be mixing the L'Oreal foundation in the shade Classic Tan and the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop in the shade Warm Honey. And to apply the foundation, I'll be applying it onto the skin with the Real Techniques brush we used earlier. I'll be applying it onto the face and the neck as well. So once that foundation is applied, we're going to go ahead and blend that out with my Morphe Beauty Sponge. And we're going to pounce that hole all over the face. And whatever's left over, we're going to go ahead and bring that down to the neck, making sure that everything looks nice and seamless. So for concealer, I'll be using the Maybelline concealer in the shade Ivory, and I'll be applying this on my chin, under the eyes, on the bridge of my nose, and on my forehead as well. With that same Morphe Beauty Sponge, we're going to go ahead and blend out in the places that we concealed. Now when it comes to blending out under the eyes, I like to alternate back and forth because I want to make sure that each side has the same amount of concealer, and I'll be blending that out until I'm satisfied with the blend. So here I'm just going to contour the fuck out my face because I got a big ass head and I want to slim her down some. So for contour, I'm going to be using the Revolution Contour Stick in the shade F13, and I'll be tucking in my cheeks and applying the contour there, on my jawline, and also on my forehead. I'm going to be blending that out with my Real Techniques brush in the number 301, and I'm going to get rid of all that damn quarantine fat that's just been sitting there. So y'all, quick tip, when you are blending out that contour around your cheek area, you want to blend upwards. Do not drag that contour down because you're not going to get that chiseled look that you want. So again, when you're contouring and you're going to go ahead and blend out that contour on your cheek, blend upwards. Using that same Revolution Contour Stick, I'm going to be grabbing my BH Cosmetics brush and just, contour the sides of my nose, bringing that into the brows to give me that nice natural look. And then with whatever's left over on that brush to give me that pouty effect, I'm going to go ahead and apply that to the top and the bottom of my lips. Lastly, to finish up that contour, we're going to take that same beauty sponge, flip it to the other side, and blend out all the places that we contoured to get this face snatched. So again, we're just going over it with the beauty blender just to get rid of that harshness that, the brush was leaving behind, and just diffuse it a little bit to my liking. And here I'm just flipping the sponge to the other side where we highlighted to just retouch a couple areas that needed retouching. So now I'm just taking the Black Radiance and the Revolution Banana Powders, mixing them together and just setting that highlight. So I'm basically just going to set under the eyes, the chin, and of course the forehead. So to set my contour, I'll be using 3 different powders. So first I'm going to use the Wet n Wild bronzer in the shade What Shady Beaches. And I'm going to use the Morphe Y11 brush to go ahead and blend that out. You guys, I understand that everything looks wild right now, but once everything is blended and set, you're going to look like a bad bitch. And that's on period. Just be patient with the process, please. So the next bronzer I'll be using is the Wet n Wild Contour and Highlighting Palette in the shade Carmel Toffe. And then I'm going to be using that BH Cosmetics brush in the number 3 to go ahead and bronze up the face. So lastly, we're going to be dipping into my OG Lorac Pro Contour Palette. She looked busted, she looked thrifty, but she get the job done. I like dipping into that medium shade to give me dimension because it's cool tone. And that's what I love about this palette. So we're going to go ahead and dip into that. Then I'm going to go ahead and set my nose contour with that as well. Getting the tip of my nose and get a little dancing. Boom, boom, boom. I'm going to go ahead and just bring it up into the brows. And then just go ahead and blending out the sides of my nose. And I'm using the Chique shadow brush to go ahead and blend this all out. Next, I'll be taking some of that Airspun translucent powder and applying that on the nose and on the tip as well to make it look like basically an exclamation point. To reverse contour, I'll be taking my Real Techniques powder sponge and I'll be dipping into that banana shade from the Wet n Wild contour palette just to sharpen up that contour a little bit. And now to wipe off all that powder, we're going to go ahead and use the dual fiber face brush from Real Techniques. Dipping into that James Charles palette, I'll be taking that light brown shade with my Morphe E27 brush. And I'm going to apply that all over the lid. You know, this is just a simple look. We're not doing too much. It's just easy, okay? So like I said, we're just going to apply that all over the lid. And yeah. And with that same brush, I'm going to dip into that Lorac Pro palette and get that medium shade and deepen my crease. For blush, I'll be using the Juvia's Place Saharan Volume 2 blush palette. And I'll be dipping into the shade that's like that reddish pinkish tone. And guys, a little bit goes a long way, so you don't really have to use that much. Like, see here, like I'm tapping only like lightly. I'm not really going hard. So I'm using the number 1 brush from the BH Cosmetics line. Like I said here, I'm just lightly tapping. And then I'm just going to get a random brush that I had a long time ago and go back in with that blush and then just tap it on my nose as well. Alright, to set everything and have those powders melt into the skin, I'm going to be using the Morphe Strawberry Setting Spray. Once I see that everything's still a little wet and tacky, I'm going to be applying a little bit of that ColourPop highlighter in the shade Wisp, using the Morphe R36 to apply it on the highest points of my face. Like I said, everything that I use will be descriptively described down in the description box down below, so make sure you check that out. And like I said, I don't want too much. I just want a little bit of a highlight, natural, not too much. Now I'm just quickly going into that ColourPop and just highlighting the bridge and the tip of my nose. Now before I apply my mink lashes, I like to go ahead and coat my lashes with the Maybelline Big Shot Mascara. So I'm basically just coating my top and bottom lashes, and then I'm going to go ahead and add some eyeliner from NYX in the shade Black. So off camera, I already did the brows and my wing liner, and I'm using NYX Brow Pencil in the shade Espresso and the NYX Matte Liquid Liner in Black. Now it's time for the lashes, honey, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and take my 25mm lashes from my brand, and I'm going to be using the Dual Lash Adhesive to stick them hoes on. Another quick tip is what I like to do is add glue onto the lid, and then I like to add it on the lash as well. That gives me like that hold all day. Like I don't feel no pieces, no sides lifting. That hold is on there and she ain't going nowhere, okay? Alright, so winding down to the end of this video, we're going to be taking that Wet n Wild liner in the shade Brandy, and I'm going to blend that out with this old brush that has absolutely no name, I can't remember it. And then to finish her off, we're going to be using the NYX Butter Gloss in the shade Pearline to get my bend box right and juicy, you know, real glossy and real plump. Alright, y'all, to finish off this look, I'll be applying some of that Maybelline Falsies mascara, and then we're all done. Thank y'all so much for watching and supporting my little YouTube. Make sure you guys check out my last 2 videos, and be sure to comment, like, and subscribe. And be sure to follow all my social media accounts. You heard? Thank y'all. Toodles!